Hello, Internet. It's me, Rhiannon, and this is Therapy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? I am not a therapist. I have said this before. I have just been to therapy a few years now, a couple different therapists, and do a lot of work with it, and actually have a couple apps for therapy as well. And I'm a big supporter of it. So I want to talk a little bit about it today, why I love it, why I think it's important for everyone to go at least once, and different types of therapy that you can try. Therapy for me at first was like a comedy routine where I just would not stop because I was so incredibly uncomfortable. And I just really didn't know what to do. So I think I had a first intro session of like 190 minutes and I talked for 185 of them. I kid you not. She had to ask me to stop talking, which is always fun to hear from your therapist. One day I was in therapy and my therapist at that time kind of interrupted me and I was like, rude. And she said, "You don't have to be funny here." And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just like really funny. So if you don't get it, like that's whatever. But what she meant was that I don't have to deflect all of my feelings with humor because I feel uncomfortable and I don't have to act like I'm Mrs. Maisel inside of a performance. Because that's what I was doing. Because I was so wildly uncomfortable with what I was saying and that these like actual feelings were coming out and that I was letting those feelings out for possibly the first time ever. That I was like, you know what? The only way to deal with this is self-deprecating humor. Why not? So why do I think therapy is important? Let's discuss. It can literally change your life. You're going to say things and feel things that you have never allowed yourself to say or feel. Maybe you've said them alone in your bed or in your head, but not out loud to anyone. And sometimes when you actually say something out loud, or you actually allow yourself to feel that thing that you've been keeping inside for such a long time and that hurts you, then you feel like this weight has been lifted off of you and you feel like, wow, I'm actually going somewhere and things are actually changing for me and maybe I'm actually becoming the best little person I can be. It's a completely confidential space. Like, unless you say that you're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, which if you do feel that way, you should definitely contact like 911 or something more serious than a therapist. It is completely confidential unless you say something like that. Your secrets are safe with them. You don't have to worry about being judged. It is completely judgment-free. I promise you the notes you are writing are not bad things about you or your appearance or anything. It is just notes for them to keep in mind for the future and things about you they should discuss. It is a very safe space. And in today's world, that's kind of hard to find. Today's world is pretty hard, pretty harsh, pretty mean sometimes, and sometimes not very safe. So it's nice to have a place other than just your bed or your room or your car or your partner, wherever. It's nice to have another space that's all yours, that's completely safe. Why can't I make a 3? I have no idea. These look like spider hands and they're just regular hands. The reason why you should go to therapy and why it's important is because you are making progress. You are actively taking steps to be the best little person you can be. Like, picture yourself as a little houseplant that is trying so hard to grow your little arms up in the air and people just keep like pouring like soda and things on you and you just need water and you need sunlight, but these clouds keep coming over you and they're so dark and they're pouring vodka and soda and dark clouds and iced coffee and all of these things on you and you just don't grow. You just stay there. You're not thriving, you're just surviving in your little dirt patch. And this is a way for you to thrive, to grow, to be that beautiful flower and bloom into the best possible version of yourself, because you are not only handling issues that may be from childhood or issues within your own mind, but you're also getting to know yourself. And once you really get to know yourself, you kind of let go of all of that disliking for yourself, because you're amazing and you realize that and you're like, wow, I am an amazing, awesome little houseplant that is growing and I am so proud of myself. And you have that other person, your therapist, that although you're paying, they are so proud of you as well. And it feels so good. But I can't afford therapy, and lucky you. let's talk about a few things. Number one, I could not afford therapy when I first started. I was like, I don't have the money for this. That would be awesome, but I just don't. And so I reached out to a couple therapists that said they had a sliding scale and explained that at the time, I think I was 22 or 23, and I'm 25 now, just for reference. And I really wanted to work on my mental health, and that I was going through quite a bit, and it would mean so much to me if they would work with me on pricing and help me in any way they could. And honestly, a few of them were like shocked by that message, and they wanted to help me because I was so open and honest, and because I was a young person asking for help. And that is the hardest thing to do, especially as you get older, is ask for help. And so I found one that gave me a very good rate that I could afford, and I saw her pretty often, and it started my therapy journey and my self-care journey, and I was very, very thankful for that. So that is definitely a resource that you can use. There are also several places, depending on where you live, like shelters and things, women's resource centers, men's resource centers, all sorts of things where you can go get free therapy from therapists that provide it. If you have any sort of insurance, sometimes you can work through that. There are a lot of different ways to find it. There are also tons of apps nowadays that you can use on your phone where you can call them or text them. Therapists, I have not tried those. I've heard on and off reviews about it, but something works for everyone, something different works for everyone. So I would definitely give it a try if you're a little bit nervous to go see someone in person and nervous to see how that's going to go. But there are ways for you to access therapy. And if you really feel like you cannot, you can watch a video like this. You can listen to a podcast that makes you feel good. You can listen to a song, whatever it is, something that helps you get to your inner core and helps you start to work on your little growth project. That will help you, and that's worth it.